She doesn't fall for the man who stays. She doesn't chase the man who gives her everything. She runs after the one who walks away. She burns for the man who looks at her once, and then looks past her like she doesn't matter at all. Why? Because certainty kills desire. Because comfort is not what ignites the fire in her blood. It's danger. It's tension. It's the storm of not knowing. That's what makes her restless. That's what keeps her awake at night. Imagine this scene. A man writes her long messages, pouring out every thought, every feeling. He cancels plans to be with her. He waits for her call, for her texts. He thinks he's winning her heart by showing devotion, but she grows cold. She pulls away. She feels nothing. Now picture another man. He speaks less. He doesn't chase. He doesn't beg. He doesn't even seem to notice if she comes or goes. Suddenly, she can't stop thinking about him. She wonders where he is, what he's doing, who he's with. Every silence from him screams louder than all the devotion of the other man. This is not a game. This is not a trick. This is a law. And if you do not understand it, you will spend your entire life chasing women who only ever run from you. Why does she chase the man who ignores her? Because his silence feels like a mystery she has to solve. Because his distance feels like a prize she has to win. Because every second he withholds, he proves he cannot be controlled. And that makes him irresistible. Now let me ask you, how many times have you been the man who gave everything? How many times did you overgive, overtext, overcare? And how many times did she vanish, leaving you broken, confused, angry at the unfairness of it all? You thought devotion was strength, but she saw weakness. You thought giving her everything would earn her love, but it only earned you rejection. And while you drowned in confusion, she was out chasing the man who barely looked her way. Cruel? No, it's nature. And nature doesn't care if it hurts you. The truth is simple. The man who ignores does not signal cruelty. He signals abundance. He signals power. He signals that his life is full, that his world does not orbit her. And women, wired for survival, feel that power in their bones. He is not desperate. He is not weak. He is not begging for her time. He is the storm she cannot tame. Meanwhile, the man who gives everything away, he signals lack. He signals need. He signals desperation. And desperation kills attraction faster than anything else. So I'll ask you again, who are you? The man she chases, or the man she rejects? The storm she fears losing, or the servant she tolerates until something better comes along? Because here is the truth you must face. If you chase her, you lose her. Always. If you stand firm, if you live for yourself, if you refuse to bow, you create the tension that makes her chase you. This is the paradox of desire. The one who gives least is desired most. The one who cares least is pursued most. The one who holds back is remembered, obsessed over, burned into her mind. But it doesn't stop there, because once she begins to chase, something darker awakens. She begins to test. She pushes. She pulls. She provokes. She creates storms to see if you will bend. And most men do. They fold under pressure. They collapse the first time she grows distant. They panic the first time she withholds affection. They smother her with reassurance, chasing harder, proving themselves again and again. And in that moment, the chase dies. But the rare man who stands still in the storm, the one who does not panic, does not beg, does not break, that man becomes the obsession of her life. He is not cruel. He is not cold. He is untouchable. And untouchable is unforgettable. This is the man she cannot stop running after. This is the man she dreams about, the man she gossips about, the man she swears she hates while secretly checking her phone every 10 minutes, because he forces her into the unknown. He makes her feel what most men never can, hunger. And hunger, once awakened, consumes her. So let's cut deeper. If you're listening right now, ask yourself, how many times have you destroyed attraction by giving too much too soon? How many times did you suffocate the spark by flooding her with attention? And how many times did she leave you wondering why your kindness was punished? Why? The truth is brutal, but it is also freeing. She does not want your constant care. She does not want your endless devotion. She wants to earn it. She wants to fight for it. She wants to chase it. And the more you give it away, the less she wants it. So stop betraying yourself. Stop handing over your power. Stop chasing what was never meant to be chased. Become the man who holds back. Become the man who lives for himself. Become the man who forces the world to notice him, not because he begs, but because he is undeniable. And if this truth cuts deep, good, let it cut, because the wound is where the change begins. Tonight, when you look in the mirror, do not lie to yourself. Ask, do I look like the man who is chased, or the man who is always chasing? Do I carry the silence of strength, or the stink of desperation? Because the world already knows, and she already knows. The only question left is, what will you do about it? She doesn't test you because she hates you. She tests you because she needs to know if you are real, if you can withstand pressure, if you can hold the frame when she throws chaos at you. She needs to feel your strength, not in your words, not in your promises, but in your silence, your composure, your refusal to bend. So she pulls away. She ignores your texts. She flirts with another man in front of you. She criticizes you for no reason, and she waits. Will you break? Will you chase? Will you crumble and prove you are only pretending to be strong? Most men do. Most men panic. They explain themselves. They beg for answers. They ask, what's wrong? Did I do something? Please talk to me. And in that moment, all attraction dies. She sees the truth. Another weak man disguised as strong. But the rare man? The rare man who doesn't break, who doesn't beg, who doesn't even flinch, that man burns into her soul. He becomes unforgettable. He becomes the story she tells her friends at 2 the ghost that haunts her thoughts when she lies next to someone else, the flame that refuses to die. You need to understand this. She doesn't chase men because she loves to suffer. She chases men who refuse to be controlled. The man who ignores her isn't simply ignoring. He is standing firm in his power. He is saying, without words, my life is bigger than you. My world does not orbit around you. Earn your place in it, and that is irresistible. The man who overgives is saying the opposite. You are my world. My happiness depends on you. Please don't leave me. And that is repulsive. Desire cannot survive under the weight of need. Think about it. When you were younger, when a girl liked you too much, too fast, did you feel excitement? Or did you feel pressure? Did you lean in? Or did you pull away? The truth cuts both ways. Excessive need always kills desire. Now picture the cycle from her side. The man who cares too much is safe, predictable, boring. He gives her nothing to fight for, no storm to conquer, no mystery to unravel. She may accept his care. She may even say she loves it. But in her heart, she is restless. She is hungry for something more, for the man who forces her to chase. This is why the nice guy always loses. Not because women hate kindness, but because kindness without strength is invisible. Care without scarcity is worthless. Love without respect is slavery. And here comes the part that stings. Women don't want equality in desire. They don't want a man who will kneel beside them as a servant. They want a man who stands above the noise. A man they must reach for. A man they must fight for. A man who cannot be moved. Every great story, every timeless romance, every tale of obsession follows the same script. The man is untouchable. The woman is drawn into the fire. The pursuit becomes the story. And the pursuit is what keeps her alive. Now I will ask you something dangerous. How many times have you betrayed yourself for the hope of keeping her? How many times did you hide your standards, silence your voice, abandon your mission all to make her happy? And where did it lead you? Did it win her, or did it kill her attraction? You already know the answer. So the lesson is not to play games. The lesson is not to pretend to ignore her while secretly obsessing over her. That's weakness in disguise. The lesson is to become the man who genuinely does not need her. The man who lives with purpose, who carries silence like a weapon, who gives his care sparingly because it is rare, and rare is valuable. Women chase the man who ignores them because he has chosen himself first. And in a world of desperate men, that choice is magnetic. But I'll warn you, this path is not easy. You will feel the pull to chase. You will feel the hunger to explain, to reassure, to beg. You will want to collapse into the comfort of giving her everything. That is the trap. That is the poison. And if you take the bait, you will lose her respect forever. So what will you do when the test comes? When she goes silent? When she pulls away? Will you fold like you always have? Or will you stand unshakable and force her to chase what she cannot control? Decide now, because your silence in those moments will speak louder than any words you could ever say. And if this truth hits you, if it makes your chest tight, if it forces you to confront your weakness, then don't hide. Say it, own it, comment below. Admit when you failed, when you chased, when you begged. Because until you face that weakness, you will never kill it. The man who admits his weakness is already closer to strength than the man who hides it. But the man who changes, that is the man she will never forget. She doesn't just want the man who ignores her. She wants the chase itself. The chase is the drug. The uncertainty is the high. Every unanswered text, every moment of silence, every second he withholds feeds her addiction. She hates it. She craves it. She cannot stop. Picture her lying in bed, her phone in her hand. She refreshes the screen, waiting, wondering why he hasn't written back. She scrolls through his profile, searching for clues. She tells herself she doesn't care, but her heart races every time she sees his name. This is the obsession. This is the fire. Not him, but the feeling he creates inside her. Now imagine the opposite. The man who replies instantly. The man who says good morning every day. Good night every night. The man who floods her with love without her having to earn it. What happens? She gets bored. She feels no hunger. She feels no fire. She feels nothing. And here's the dark truth. Women do not crave comfort. They crave tension. They crave the thrill of not knowing. They crave the storm. Comfort makes them secure, but the chase makes them alive. This is why she rejects the man who cares too much. Not because she hates care, but because care without challenge is empty. She wants to climb the mountain, not be carried to the top. She wants to conquer the man, not inherit him like a gift. The man who ignores gives her that mountain. He creates space for her to chase, to prove, to fight. And in that fight, she invests. The more she invests, the deeper she falls. Every unanswered call, every silent day, every moment of doubt is a hook pulling her deeper into obsession. Ask yourself, when was the last time a woman obsessed over you? When was the last time she studied your silence, replayed your words, wondered what you meant? Or have you spent your life being the man who removes all mystery, who hands her certainty on a silver platter, who kills the spark before it ever begins? You know the answer. Here's the brutal law. Desire grows in distance, not in closeness. In doubt, not in certainty. In scarcity, not in abundance. That's why the man who ignores is chased. He keeps the distance. He maintains the doubt. He embodies scarcity. But don't confuse this with manipulation. The true man doesn't fake silence. He doesn't play games. He is simply full. His life is heavy with purpose, with mission, with strength. He doesn't ignore her to trick her. He ignores her because he is not controlled by her. He withholds because his attention is precious. And precious things are never given cheaply. She feels this difference. She can smell fake indifference. She knows when a man is pretending not to care, but secretly dying inside. That man will always be exposed. But the man who truly carries freedom, the man who doesn't need her, who doesn't beg, who doesn't chase her, he becomes the obsession she cannot break. Because deep inside, every woman wants to feel she conquered something impossible. That she won a man no one else could hold. That she reached the summit others could not climb. That story becomes her pride, her addiction, her reason to stay. And here is the dagger. She is not chasing him. She is chasing what she feels when she cannot control him. The hunger, the fire, the doubt. That is what keeps her alive. So what does this mean for you? It means if you want to be chased, you must stop begging to be caught. It means you must stop handing out your worth like candy. It means you must stand in your silence, your strength, your mission, and let her feel the hunger of the chase. Because if you don't, she will find another man who will, and you will be left with nothing but your excuses. Ask yourself, are you her addiction, her chase, her storm? Or are you her safety blanket, her backup plan, her boredom? Be honest, because the world already knows the answer. She wants to break you. That is the truth no one dares to say out loud. She wants to push you to your limit, to see if your strength is real or just a mask. She wants to feel the edge of your patience, the edge of your silence, the edge of your power. And every time she tests you, she is asking the same question. Will you bend or will you stand? Most men bend. Most men crack. They can't handle the storm. The first time she pulls away, they chase. The first time she grows cold, they smother her with affection. The first time she challenges them, they explain, justify, beg. And in that instant, she knows. She knows she holds all the power. She knows she can control him. And if she can control him, she cannot desire him. But the rare man does not move. She ignores him, and he says nothing. She criticizes him, and he remains unshaken. She flirts with another, and his eyes don't even flicker. Not because he doesn't feel, but because his value is not tied to her approval. That is the man she cannot resist. That is the man she chases until she breaks herself. Understand this. She is not chasing the man because he ignores. She is chasing because she cannot conquer him. And the more he stands firm, the deeper she falls into obsession. This is why women confess they love a challenge. But it's not just a phrase. It's survival coded into their blood. To find the strongest man, she must test. To know if you can protect her, she must see if you can withstand her. To know if you can lead, she must try to lead you first. Fail these tests, and you're gone. Pass them, and you become unforgettable. So let me ask you directly, how many times have you failed? How many times have you panicked at the first sign of distance? How many times have you explained yourself into weakness? How many times have you tried to prove you were worthy, only to lose her respect? That sting you feel, that burn in your chest, is the memory of every time you gave away your power. And until you face it, you will repeat it. But it can end. Here. Now. You can choose to stop being the man who chases, the man who begs, the man who collapses. You can become the man who stands, the man who is unshakable, the man who ignores not out of cruelty, but out of power, the man who makes her prove her worth instead of giving her everything for nothing. And here's the irony. When you become that man, you don't need to ignore women on purpose. You don't need to fake silence. You don't need to play games. Your life will naturally be full, your attention naturally scarce, your time naturally valuable. You won't need to pretend. You will embody it, and she will feel it. She will sense the difference between the man who withholds as a tactic and the man who withholds because his mission comes first. One is a boy pretending to be strong. The other is a man who has no time to pretend. That man is dangerous. That man is rare. That man is hunted. So which one will you be? The boy who chases until he's empty, or the man who forces the world to chase him? Think carefully. Because every interaction, every silence, every response you give her is shaping the answer, and the answer will define your entire future. Now look deeper. Look into your own life. Are you living for yourself, or are you living for her? Are you building something, or are you wasting everything chasing women who don't respect you? Are you forging strength, or are you feeding weakness? Be honest, because only in honesty can change begin. She will always chase the man who ignores, not because he ignores, but because he has chosen himself first. And until you do the same, you will always be the one chasing. Here it comes, the final truth, the moment where everything crystallizes. She doesn't chase you because she loves the pain. She doesn't chase you because she's cruel. She chases you because she cannot touch your power. She cannot bend your frame. She cannot predict your world. And humans, men and women alike, are drawn to what they cannot possess. That is desire. That is obsession. That is fire. Ask yourself, how many times have you allowed yourself to be caught in her orbit, spinning endlessly for her attention, her validation, her affection? How many nights have you lain awake, wondering why your devotion was not enough? Why she ran to another who barely looked at her? You already know the answer. You betrayed yourself. You gave away your power. And in that giving, you killed the very desire you wanted to create. Now imagine this, a man who never falls. A man who does not chase. A man whose world is already full, whose life is already complete, whose attention is a treasure, not a right. That man is magnetic. That man is untouchable. That man forces women to chase, to fight, to prove themselves. That man is unforgettable. That man sets the rules. That man owns the game before it's even played. And here is the final lesson. You will not win desire by giving. You will not ignite obsession by bending. You will not earn respect by pleading. You win it by standing, by being whole, by refusing to collapse, by holding yourself above the chase, by letting her chase you, not because you are cruel, but because you have chosen yourself first. The man who embodies this truth is rare. He is hunted. He is obsessed over. He is whispered about, remembered, feared, desired. And he cannot be replaced because he cannot be bought. He can only be earned. So now I leave you with the ultimate question. When she looks at you, when the storm of her tests comes, when the tension rises, when she pulls away and your heart wants to follow, will you break? Will you chase again and lose yourself in the process? Or will you stand unshakable, untouchable, and force her to prove herself worthy of your attention? This is the choice that defines every man who has ever loved and lost, every man who has ever been ignored or betrayed, every man who has ever wondered why desire runs from him and not toward him. You either become the man she chases, or you remain the man who chases. There is no middle ground. There is no compromise. There is only the path of strength or the path of weakness. Tonight, when the phone buzzes and she doesn't respond, when she plays her tests, when she pulls away, you will know who you are. You will feel it in your chest. You will see it in your reflection, and that moment will decide everything. So I ask you now, will you be the man she cannot stop thinking about, or the man she leaves behind? The choice is yours, because desire waits for no one. Power waits for no one. And life, the real, unforgiving, unstoppable life, never forgives weakness. Make your choice. Stand, become, and never chase again.